Hello everyone, welcome to new video. Today our very important chapter or concept we are going to take from the chapter that is environment. So environmental conservation is our first today's point, how the environment is conserved. Student, environmental conservation is a practice of protecting the natural environment on individual, organization or governmental levels for the benefits of both the natural environment and humans. It is the act of conserving or saving our natural resources through careful management, through reducing your waste, saving trees, recycling, using renewable resources that do not depend or deplete our natural resources. Why so better environmental conservation is so important to study? We know very well nowadays environment get affected because of the interaction of human beings, because interaction of human beings is vast and totally dependent on the nature. We are cutting the trees, simultaneously we are building the construction hubs, industrial development, all the factors we are going to do, and because of that factors environment get affected so badly, and that is why it is so need environment get affected by the both factor, that is natural factor also, and artificial factor also, that is man-made factor. Environmental conservation includes all the factors, that is how environment get damaged or which factors are damage the environment and how we can restore the environment very carefully. So student, to study all this point we are going to take this point detail, so that's why the video is little bit lengthy and long, so watch the video till the end. Okay students, so environment conservation we have know very well. So environment conservation is the basical, that is the practice of the humans to save environment from collapsing, such as a loss of species ecosystem due to population and human activity. This helps both trees, animals, since some of us are dependent on them to survive. Students, in ancient times, human beings are totally dependent on environment. Nowadays, industrialization or many other factors are responsible for the development of human beings. But because of that development, environment get affected so badly, and because of that only, we don't have such a climate. This report, which is environmental conservation, is given on March 17, 2018. From there, environment start showing the bad impact, and from that year to up to continuous, we are facing a lots of a problem regarding to environment and environmental conservation. So conservation means what? Conserve means what? Protect. Conserve means what? Protect. How we protect our environment, how it will be get safe by collapsing each other and ecosystem due to population or pollution. Both factors, human activity is also responsible for this, and how these factors are totally interacted with each other. For that we are able to discuss it carefully. That environmental factor, that is ecological factor or eco factor, doesn't matter that is ecological only, eco only, or both the factors, biotic or abiotic, that influence the living organism. Because in previous video also we have discussed about biotic factors and abiotic factors. So the student, the influence which living organism or abiotic factor include, that is opponent temperature, amount of sunlight and pH of the water, soil in which an organisms were live. So environmental factor are totally dependent on this. So first problem is, what are the natural factors that affect the environment? Except for the decay causes by climatical event, which are principal natural environmentals factors that affecting the destruction of materials include but are not limited to moisture, temperature, solar radiation, air movement and pressure, participation, chemical and biochemical attack, and intrusion by micro and macroorganisms. Natural factors are so less than that of man-made factors, because Naturally it is causes by air pollution, means solar radiation, air movement, pressure, precipitation, chemical or biochemical attack, which means the attack of insects on plants and environment of forest. So that is why moisture is also responsible for that, temperature is responsible that. But you know students, I just wanted to clear you one thing, that is natural factors जितने भी हैं उन सबको अगर हम लोग साइड में करते हैं तो एक फैक्टर, अगर नेचुरल फैक्टर 30% इन्वायरमेंट को या फिर इकोसिस्टम को ख़राब कर रहा है, तो 70% जो है वो ह्यूमन बींग्स की वजह से हो रहा है, ह्यूमन बींग्स के इंटरेक्शन की वजह से हो रहा है। क्योंकि आजकल हमारा इंटरेक्शन सोलर सिस्टम के जितना, मतलब सोलर रेडिएशन से भी ज़्यादा, उससे भी ज़्यादा जो है इन्वायरमेंट के ऊपर हो रहा है। आप बोलोगे सोलर रेडिएशन से कैसे ज़्यादा? इवन दो स्टूडेंट, आजकल पहले जो एनिमल्स सिर्फ और सिर्फ जंगल में होते थे, आजकल वो हम लोगों को यहाँ पे मिल रहे हैं। क्यों? क्योंकि ह्यूमन बींग्स आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल, नेचुरल फैक्टर्स आर ऑल्सो रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दैट, बट द परसेंटेज इज सो लेस एज कम्पेयर टू द human interaction in the ecosystem. So that is why. Now second environmental problem was, it is caused by global warming and climate change. You know student, global warming, human beings are more responsible for global warming as compared to the natural factors. Only and only human factors are more plays a more dangerous infection, means dangerous factor on global warming. So population of air leads and water through excess deforestation, industrialization, and overfilling, landfilling, which emits CO2 and adds to greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases means what? Such gases as methane, ethane, propane are greenhouse gases, nitrogenous gases, nitrogen gases. So all these emissions of all topmost causes of these environmental issues, and because of that this factor is also taken as an environmental problem which are caused by the nature. What are the 5 major environmental problems that we are facing? So the top 5 environmental concerns for 2090 is biodiversity. Biodiversity is the most complex and vital feature of our planet. Water pollution is huge concern for us and our environment. Deforestation, which means cutting the tree, because of that the number of tree get less as compared to the survival or survive with plants. So we need plants and tree to survive. We know very well plant gives uh, plant inhale carbon dioxide and release oxygen during daytime, and some of plants are there like peepee and banyan tree where exist, and tulsi also, Ocimum centosus, are also the plants which provided 24 into 7 oxygen to us, and they always liberate carbon dioxide only. So that is why deforestation also causes the change in the air, and if air changes, so it becomes a polluted air. So it comes to the point, that is pollution, and climate changes because of that only. Because forest or the plants which are taken in the forest, a part of a forest, they are acquire all the things, they hold the water level and maintain the ecosystem level. So that is why it is so important. So these are the 5 major environmental problems that we are facing nowadays. Now what are the harmful for the environment? A single or combination of toxic chemical, biological or physical agent in the environment resulting from the human activities or natural process. Doesn't matter it is human only or natural only, because some of natural process are also cause a chemical or toxic chemicals, and humans are, to we know very well, industry throw all the industrial waste water into the ponds, river, which collectively goes throughout the forest and provided all over the plant which are sustained on that water or the bank of water. Student, I must have to include one word over here, that is, if you searched on a Google, so you are clearly get that Kaveri river nowadays is get disappear. आजकल कावेरी नदी जो है वो डिसअपियर होने लग गई है। क्यों? क्योंकि उसका वाटर लेवल इतना कम हो चुका है, इतना कम हो चुका है कि जो नदी पहले 12 महीने बहती थी, आज सिर्फ बरसात के मौसम में 1 से 1.5 महीना वो नदी बहती है। और इतनी बहती है कि वो शुरुआत से लेके, जैसे कि वी नो वेरी वेल कि हम लोगों को मालूम है कि नदियाँ शुरू होती है और समंदर में जाके मिलती है, लेकिन कावेरी नदी आज तक मतलब ऐसी हो गई है, ऐसी सिचुएशन आ गई है कि इस वजह से जो कंटेमिनेशन है, वाटर का कंटेमिनेशन है, वो टॉक्सिक होने की वजह से, इंडस्ट्रियल होने की वजह से, होम केमिकल्स मिक्स होने की वजह से ये आजकल रिवर पॉल्यूटेड हो गई है, और जिस वजह से हमारे नेचर को ये बहुत ज़्यादा अफेक्ट कर रही है। सो इन्वायरमेंट को सल्यूट करने, इन्वायरमेंट को फाइंड आउट करने के लिए, इस प्रॉब्लम्स को फाइंड आउट करने के लिए, इन्वायरमेंटल इश्यूज़ को फाइंड आउट करने के लिए जो हार्मफुल इफेक्ट है, तो ये दो तरह से हो सकते हैं। एक तो ह्यूमन एक्टिविटी इसमें इन्वॉल्व हो सकती है, या फिर जो है नेचुरल एक्टिविटी। नेचुरल तो हम लोगों को मालूम है, नेचर की वजह से तो बहुत कम ऐसे इंसिडेंट्स होते हैं जिन वजह से हम लोगों को ये कहना पड़े कि जो फैक्टर्स हैं वो अफेक्ट करते हैं, बट मोस्ट ऑफ द फैक्टर्स वेर गेट अफेक्टेड बाय ह्यूमन एंड इंटरेक्शन ऑफ ह्यूमंस ओनली. So that is why environmental issues are harmful effects for human activities on the environment. These includes population, overpollution, that is overpopulation, waste disposal, climate changes, global warming, greenhouse effect, fire worms, using excess quantity of AC, refrigerators, using a pollutant bike which are not get properly serviced because of that also. So these are the problems that we are facing, that environment face because of the humans activity, which are always taken apart as a source, as a pollutant source for the environment, which causes the environment to damage. So what are the causes and the effect of environmental problems? So overpopulation, this is never ending human targeting that is responsible for causing all the type of environmental issue: water pollution, resources crisis, gender imbalance, population, pollution, land pollution, urban swamping, deforestation, overproduction are some common example for all these dangerous effects which are caused by the overpopulation. यू नो, ओवर पॉपुलेशन होने की वजह से क्या हो रहा है, जो फॉरेस्ट का एरिया है वो कम होता जा रहा है, एंड ह्यूमंस जो है लैंडस्केप करने लग गए हैं फॉरेस्ट के रीजन में. Because of that, what happened? So it causes an dangerous impact on the environment. Because of that only environment get affect, and it face a lots of a problem because of interruption of humans which are overpopulation. So how can we prevent environmental problems? Environmental problems can be fixed by the 7 so simple method. First one, painting your house. Use a latex paint. Get a tune up, properly maintain vehicle, get better gas mileage and emits fewer population or pollution, which are fewer pollutant. Don't top off your gas tank. Conserve energy. Don't burn your yard waste. Plant a tree. Park the car. These are the factors which are helpful for the prevention of environment, or the prevention of problems of environment. What is the biggest environmental problem today? See, some of problems are tabulated over here. These are some of the biggest environmental issues we face today. That is natural resources that are wasted, ozone depleting substances, pesticides and chemicals, population growth. These are the basic that the humans being will be faced. That is poverty, water pollution, plastic pollution. The solution of environmental problems are the biggest environmental issues that we are facing today. So, what are the 10 major environmental problems? So, biodiversity threats, biodiversity loss, decline in amphibian population, decline in insect population, climate change, global warming, runaway climate changes, coral reefs, deforestation, defunition, desertification, ecocides, erosion. So these are the 10 major environmental problems that the human beings, even though not human beings only, plants and animals too facing. You know, some of facing by plants and animals too, not over, but some of faced by plants and animals too, because these are the major factors that affect the environmental so badly. So, what is the biggest threat to the environment? According to the World Economic Forum, air pollution was found to be the largest current environmental threat to our public health. Up to 52,000 people were died every year in the United States alone because of exposure of emission from power plant emission, and these reports were given by 28th August of 2018. Recent news were given. So second is, what is the good for the environment? So 8 simple ways to help the environment, that is, use reusable bags. Plastic grocery types bags that get thrown out end up in landfill or in other part of the environment. Print as little as necessary. Recycle. Use a reusable bags, containers. Don't throw your notes away. Save electricity. Save water. Avoid taking cars or carpool when possible. Use bicycle to travel. So what are the environmental solution? So environmental solution by definition are designed to solve the environmental problem. Permits, agency approvals, allocation of budgets, fund, and site requirements are all types examples of action necessary to implement a solution already approved by the law. What are the some solutions for population or pollution? The most basic solution of air pollution is to move away from fossil fuels, replacing them with alternative energies like solar, wind, or geothermal. Producing clean energy is secure, curricle, but equally important is to be reduce our consumption of energy by adopting responsible habits and using more efficient devices. We can reduce our use of fossil fuel by avoiding car if it is not necessary, by avoiding bicycles if it is not necessary. Even though nowadays if children want to went for a corner, so they used to go by bicycle way, they used to go by car, they used to go by uh, bikes. So avoid that if is it possible. So walk out yourself, go there and take. Because of that only what happens, it reduces the pollution, or the uses of fossil fuels get decreases, and because of that only it is helpful to conserve the pollution. Nature conservation, you know, if we save the nature, then only human beings get safe, then only the life get exist. If this population continues, so even though we are unable to experience that what we are having at our past and what we are getting at our future. What is the nature conservation? What is meant by nature conservation? To prevent the nature from damages, to prevent the nature from all the several activities which are responsible to damage the nature. That is, to stop these activities to damage the nature are known as the nature conservation. How the nature will be get conserved and what factors are affect the nature so badly, so these factors we are going to discuss in detail. Nature conservation, it is the wise management that utilization of natural renewable sources or resources in sustainable manner to ensure that maintenance of biodiversity. If is it possible, so uses of non renewable source, avoiding the uses excess uses of non renewable sources or those sources which are harmful for the nature, if we are avoiding for this, so that the way we can conserve the nature so easily. Threats to the nature, how we are responsible for the natural things or the natural phenomenon which are get damaged because of the human beings, not for the human beings, not even the human beings, but the natural factors too. But the natural factors are also caused by human beings also. We are going to detail discuss it. So first of all, pollution. Nowadays the pollution is the biggest problem that each and every government of each and every state, each and every nation, each and every even though country has to be face, has to be solved. Because of that only, not even on the earth surface, even though outside the earth surface, that is in the space, nowadays humans are that much that they are started polluting the space also by utilization of स्पेस गार्बेज। देखिए बच्चों, अर्थ तो हम लोगों को गार्बेज फेंकने के लिए कम पड़ी गई थी कि आजकल हम लोगों ने स्पेस में भी गार्बेज फेंकना शुरू कर दिया है, जिसको आजकल हम लोग स्पेस गार्बेज के नाम से जानते हैं। इस टर्म को स्पेस गार्बेज कहा जाता है। एंड जो कोई भी साइंटिस्ट आजकल, होता क्या है मालूम है, अगर कोई भी मिशन अनसक्सीड होता है तो उस आर्टी क्राफ्ट के या फिर उस स्पेस क्राफ्ट के कुछ एक टुकड़े जो है स्पेस में ही इधर उधर जो है रोम करते रहते हैं, रोमिंग करते रहते हैं। एंड दैट इज़ वाई इट इज़ कॉल्ड एज अ स्पेस गार्बेज। और आजकल जितने ज़्यादा ह्यूमंस स्पेस की तरफ, देखिए ह्यूमंस जहाँ पे भी मतलब जिधर भी ह्यूमंस ने ज़्यादा फोकस दिखाया, जिधर भी ह्यूमंस ज़्यादा क्यूरियस हुए ना, उन सारी जगहों को ह्यूमंस ने डैमेज ही कर दिया। पहले जंगल की तरफ थे, जंगल डैमेज। बाद में देखिए जंगल को कैसे डैमेज किया, तो डिफॉरेस्टेशन करके। डिफॉरेस्टेशन करने के लिए लोगों ने क्या किया, अपने घरों की रूफ बनाने के लिए घरों के अंदर, सबसे पहले तो घरों की रूफ से शुरू किया लोगों ने। घरों की रूफ बनाने के लिए लकड़ी को तोड़ना शुरू कर दिया। अच्छा, इसके लिए उन्होंने सिर्फ लकड़ी तोड़ने बराबर, अगर एक लकड़ी तोड़ते हो तो आप एक प्लांट को अगर ग्रो करते हो उसी जगह पे, तो इन्वायरमेंट का जो बैलेंस है वो बिगड़ेगा नहीं, वो अनबैलेंस नहीं होगा। लेकिन ह्यूमन बींग्स क्या करने लग गए, पूरा डिफॉरेस्टेशन, एक बार फॉरेस्ट के अंदर घुस गए कि बस पूछो ही मत, कौन सा उनके ऊपर जो ये हो जाता है कि पूरा फॉरेस्ट ही, वो पूरा रेशियो ही कम कर देते हैं फॉरेस्ट का। दैट्स द रीज़न हम लोगों को फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट जैसे एक फॉरेस्ट ऑफिसर्स जैसे ऑफिसर्स को नेम मतलब नियुक्त करना पड़ रहा है। देखिए ह्यूमन बींग्स कितने क्यूरियस है, फॉरेस्ट को कम करते जा रहे, फॉरेस्ट के अंदर घर बना रहे जिसको फॉरेस्ट हाउस नाम दिया जाता है। कई कई जगह पे रेस्ट हाउस बना रहे हैं, कहीं कहीं पे फार्म हाउस बना रहे। तो देखिए जहाँ पे भी ह्यूमन बींग्स इंटरेक्ट करते हैं नेचर को, उस जगह पे ह्यूमन बींग्स की वजह से जो है नेचर डैमेज होना स्टार्ट हो गई है। नेचर सिर्फ डिफॉरेस्टेशन ही कॉज करता है क्या, फॉरेस्ट के अंदर जाके बस रुकने वाले हैं क्या, नहीं। फॉरेस्ट के अंदर जाके क्या करेंगे, खेती बाड़ी करेंगे या फिर घर लेंगे, बिल्डिंग बनाएंगे, इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन बनाएंगे। सो इस वजह से क्या होने लग गया, डिफॉरेस्टेशन तो किया ही किया, डिफॉरेस्टेशन के साथ में सॉइल इरोजन भी कर दिया। सॉइल इरोजन मीन्स व्हाट, डिफॉरेस्टेशन में क्या होता है, जैसे ही प्लांट्स को हम लोग कट कर देते हैं, जैसे ही प्लांट्स को कट कर देते हैं, उस वजह से क्या होता है, सॉइल के अंदर जो वाटर को एब्जॉर्ब करने की जो कैपेबिलिटी होती है, वाटर को रिस्टोर करने की जो कैपेबिलिटी होती है, वो कम हो जाती है। और डायरेक्टली जो है सनलाइट का जितना भी रेडिएशन है वो सॉइल के ऊपर पड़ने लगता है। उस वजह से क्या हो जाता है, सॉइल का इरोजन स्टार्ट हो जाता है। और ये सॉइल इरोजन भी आज हमारे सामने आने वाला सबसे बड़ा रिस्पॉन्सिबल फेनोमेनॉन है, जो कि हम लोगों को आज नहीं, आज से तकरीबन 10 साल बाद इसके हार्मफुल इफेक्ट भी हम लोगों को दिखने को मिल जाएंगे। सॉइल इरोजन के लिए सिर्फ डिफॉरेस्टेशन ही कॉस्ट नहीं है। आजकल हम लोग जो है कोई भी, अगर इवन दो नॉर्मल सी भी खेती करनी है तो हम लोग जो है पूरा केमिकल्स के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है। केमिकल ला रहे, कितने भी कैसे भी कितने भी कंटेंट के केमिकल ला रहे हैं और सॉइल के अंदर जिसको है स्प्रेड अप कर दे रहे हैं, जिस वजह से क्या हो रहा है, सॉइल इरोजन जो है डेंजरसली और वर्गोलियसली क्या हो रहा है, इंक्रीज हो रहा है। और ये रिस्पॉन्सिबल हो रहा है सॉइल इरोजन के लिए। और इसी वजह से आजकल आने वाले फ्रूट्स, जितनी कोई भी वेजिटेबल्स है, इवन दो आजकल मार्केट में मिलने वाले वेजिटेबल्स भी पुराने वेजिटेबल्स की तरह नेचुरल नहीं है। आजकल नेचुरल का टैग लगा के लोग बेचना शुरू कर दिए कि देखो नेचर से सारी चीज़ें उग रही है, लेकिन उसको भी नेचुरल होने का टैग लगा के बेचना पड़ रहा है। सो दैट इज़ वाई सॉइल इरोजन इज ऑल्सो एन इम्पॉर्टेंट एक्सपेक्ट दैट वी हैव टू स्टडी हियर। सॉइल इरोजन से ह्यूमन हट गए, उसके साथ बोलने लग गए कि हाँ सॉइल इरोजन वॉज नॉट ओके। सो फॉर दैट दे हैव स्टार्टेड फिशिंग. So when started fishing, while doing the fishing, they started not doing the fishing, they started overfishing. Because of that, the content of fish get less, and because of that, pollutant water increases. The pollution rate of the water get increases. How? Because fish are the mammals that they sustain their life inside the water. They start consuming the bacteria, they start consuming all the dangerous factors which are present in the water, they start consume it. And because of that consumption, the water get, means it would not get that much pollute. So that is why overfishing is also cause the environment or the factor. It causes the water scarcity. What is meant by water scarcity? So the content and the pH level of water get a change, because we know water is natural, neutral on the its pH level, but because of the pollution, the scarcity of water get increases. And nowadays we are facing the lots of a problem regarding to acid rains. Nowadays acid rains तो is common, कुछ भी होता है तो मतलब जैसी भी बारिश के मौसम में अगर हम लोग बारिश की तरफ ज़्यादा फोकस करते तो एसिड रेन करके उस कंटेंट को हम लोग कर देते, तो दैट इज़ व्हाट इज़ नथिंग बट द वाटर स्कैरिसिटी. Next is infrastructure development, dams, construction hubs, industrial development, MIDCs. This is nothing but the most dangerous impact which are ever given to the ecosystem or the environment by the humans. Construction of dam to store the water. जब वाटर स्टोर होना स्टार्ट होता है तो वो वाटर जो है उस आजू बाजू के सॉइल में जो है एब्जॉर्ब होना शुरू हो जाता है, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट एब्जॉर्प्शन सॉइल का जो वाटर कंटेमिनेट करने का जो क्वालिटी है, जो कैपेबिलिटी है, वो लेस हो जाता है. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट व्हाट हैपन, इट्स ग्रोनेस मीन्स जो मिट्टी के अंदर जो उपजाऊपना होता है वो बहुत कम हो जाता है. एंड दिस इज़ व्हाट इट इज़ सो dangerous impact which are given to this ecosystem by the humans is infrastructure. Nowadays infrastructure is the most probable business which are done by the humans in all over the state, all over the countries, not even in India but outside India also. Infrastructure development, they have started developing their own branches, and because of that only it is also a cause a bad impact on the ecosystem. Next is forest fire, that is burn particles. फॉरेस्ट फायर नेचुरल सिर्फ 1% होता है, तो 99% जो है ह्यूमन इंटरफेयर की वजह से होता है, ह्यूमन इंटरफेरेंस की वजह से होता है. ऑस्ट्रेलिया में 2019 दिसंबर 2019 में दुनिया का सबसे डेंजरस और सबसे बड़ा फॉरेस्ट फायर कंसिडर किया गया था. इसके अंदर बहुत सारे एनिमल्स जो है क्रूल तरह से बिना किसी गलती के मारे गए हैं. ह्यूमंस ने अपना हाथ बढ़ाया है, लेकिन जैसे कि हम लोग देख सकते हैं एनिमल्स वेयर गेट डेड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट फायर, एंड इट इम्पैक्ट टू द ऑल नेशन, not even for the Australia, not even for the region which is around that forest, but it in fact impact to the all over nation too. Next is smothering of coral reefs. So coral reefs को complete the coral reefs, nowadays human goes inside the oceans so depth they were goes. So this is also an impact, it also plays an impact on the region or aquatic animals which are present inside the water. They get affected because of that affection of that object which or the animals which are present inside the aquatic region. So because of that water pollution increases and it also impact on the ecosystem. Next is climate change. So because of climate change, nowadays we don't get the crops properly, our crops get affected. Even see, crops are only for, some of crops are for 6 months, some of crops are for 3 months, some of crops for 7 months, but the environment is to be still for the 20 thousands of years too, from 1 year to thousands of years too. So even though this climate change also causes, even though forest also and the thing which we are grow from the farms, so that farm fields are also get impact, a dangerous impact on it because of this climate changes. So that is why it is also plays an important role for the economical dangerousness for the structure of an ecosystem. Next is illegal species trade. Nowadays some of species start existing their life or taking existence from the earth's surface because of their traits. Some of tortoise where exist their life from the surface of earth, even though the count of tiger also decreases. The number of tigers are nowadays only and only 1400 only tigers were present all over the surface of earth. So these are, so some, to prevent these things, to stop these things, government has to be started the organization in India, even not even by government, even non-government too. government and non-government, both the organization which are established in India, start doing their work, giving the support to the nature by doing all these several circumstances by providing themselves. These are, first is Ministry of Environment and Forest, MOEF. Second is Central Pollution Control Board, CPFB, which is the central government central government scheme which are done by Government of India. Third is Environmental Information System, ENVIS. Fourth is Ministry of Earth Sciences, that is MOES. And fifth is Waste Minimize Cycle, that is WMC. And even though at the state level, that is government established there for an that is environment conservation programming, even though in the cities also, in municipal corporation, they have established their own department for conservation of these environment which are present in that city or that district. So on the district level also, they have started doing the several work regarding to establish the environment, to conserve the environment. Some of non-government organization, so agencies for non-conservational energy and rural technology, ANERT, Center for Science and Environment Conserve. Next is Exnora International. Fourth is Foundation of Ecological Security, and the last, that is fifth one, is Siruthulai, which is done by Sadhguru. Nowadays these non-government organization also done the several work regarding to conserve the environment from all the circumstances which are given by the humans, or even though natural phenomena processes too. So students, next is, what can we do to conserve natural resources? What are the factors that we can provide to the nature? Because of that only the nature get a resource or it get conserved. So which resources that we have to use? Some basic resources, so we can start from our home too. The first is turn off light. Why so I'm saying turn off the light? Light is the form of energy and it is work because of current and produces the heat. Heat increases the temperature of the surrounding, and because of that the ozone layer get depleted. So that is why first of all turn off light if it is not necessary. Second thing what you can do, you can close the door while AC runs. Because of AC, the gas which is getting from the AC, if includes or exhaust into the surface or atmosphere, it damage the ozone layer, which is protect us, which are present there for protect us from the UV radiation, and if UV radiation not came to the surface, it will be helpful for us. Third is decreasing the uses of paper. Why so I am saying decrease the uses of paper? Because paper were made by the wood. If you decrease the use of paper, so the factory which are established for the cutting of tree get decreases, and because of that environment start consume. Throwing trash into the trash cans. So these trash cans can be derived into three different color combination, that is recycle, which is yellow, waste, that is red, and organic, which are green. With the help of that we can process on it and form into a various stream or whatever we need it. Next is switch to the non-plastic water bottles and bags which are you are using nowadays for currently. Next is driving less, because less driving or use bicycles to drive. Because of that the coral energy or fossil fuel energy uses of fat get decreases, and it conserve the factors of economy. Next is use the green power, greenhouse, whatever the green power is. For example, windmill is a green, using green power. Planting the more trees, because we know very well trees gives 24, means near about some of tree gives 24 oxygen, some of gives 12 hour oxygen. Next is prevention of population or pollution, prevention of pollution from the any or whatever the kind of a thing we can do it. And the last is finally do 3 R's, that is reduce, recycle and reuse. Use those things only. This is the estimate of the global pollution that can be attributed by building and construction. The percentage is given as follows. air quality, cities, that is 23%, climate change gases, that is 50%, drinking water pollution, that is 40%, landfill wastage, that is 50%, and ozone depletion, that is 50%. This is the estimate of global pollution that can be attributed by buildings and construction only. Okay, so how the environment impact to the building material, strategies to conserve environment. So the first thing which we can do is energy. Step first, reduce the energy demand. Step second, use the renewable energies. Step 3, choice of efficient system. Material, reduce the material demand, use the renewable and recyclable sources. Reduction of environmental impact. Water, reduce of water demand, collection and uses of rainwater harvest, choice of water efficiency appliances, or use rainwater harvesting. Greenhouse effect and global warming. Greenhouse effect, carbon dioxide holds in heat like a greenhouse. Global warming increases in the global temperature because of fuel burning and clearing the lands of tree, because it is unable to provide oxygen, necessary oxygen. So these are the things that we are handled to it, and because of these things, some species are also important for environmental conservation. These are invasive species. Humans move organisms from negative area to the new area. And keystone species, an organism that has an usually large effect on an ecosystem. So students, start save the earth, start save the environment to save ourselves. Mahatma Gandhi has said about the nature or the environment is, the earth is sufficient to satisfy everyone's need but not the greed, which means अर्थ जो है सबकी नीड पूरी कर सकता है, इंडीड नहीं. थैंक्स. आई नो ये वीडियो थोड़ा सा लंबा हुआ है, बट थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग. इफ़ यू हैव अ डाउट, सो लीव कमेंट वॉट एवर द डाउट इज़ देयर. If you have a doubt, so drop in the comment box. Otherwise, like, share and subscribe my channel. Subscription for getting notification. Thank you.